Hi everybody, Jo here again. Today I'm popping in. I've had a question. Lovely Celia emailed me, and she's having a bit of problem with Brushos and water and how to make these wonderful backgrounds like we do on the gel press. So I thought, if you don't mind, rather than me message her and tell her, sort of give her lots of advice, it'd be easier for me to do a little YouTube tutorial. So if anybody else is struggling, by all means watch this. If you're really good at it, you might actually, I don't mind for once, do you know what, switch me off, you don't need me. If you just fancy grabbing a brew and joining and having a little chat anyway, that's fine. Now what happens is we want to make these lovely backgrounds, which is using ink on the gel press and the Brusho powder, and this is obviously just one background. Now in my online workshops we have got a workshop on it, workshop 3, and this is the card we're going to be making. So if anybody watches this and fancies having a go and joining in a workshop with me, the workshops are only £6. I just charge you a tiny little nominal fee, and you'll get it for, you can use it as many times as you want. Join in with me, but we will go through in detail making this design. So that's one option if you fancy. Other than that, today I'm just going to go through, as I say, really for Celia, a few little pointers that when I teach this in workshops, little areas where I know crafters do struggle. So that's the idea, what we're going to create. Now when it comes to the Brushos, as you're probably aware, these are your Brusho powders. They're a pigment powder, and they were just invented like this really. It was when teachers at school wanted paint for pupils, and obviously it wasn't easy getting lots of wet paint in the post. So they came up with the idea of these pigment powders which you add water to, so it's much easier for transporting. And obviously we in the craft industry love them. There are some fantastic artists out there who use them to make, as I say, amazing art. I'm afraid I'm not one of them. I just use it in my crafty way. I'd love to be, but I'm not. Little heads up, they do have a twist here that you can twist off and take the cap off. I would recommend don't do that, because if you knock it over and spill it, well, if it was me, I'd cry. So the best thing to do is get yourself a pin. There is a little, almost little indentation in the lid. Pop a little hole and use that to sprinkle your Brusho. If you're using it for backgrounds, that's all you'll need anyway. Sprinkle it on your card, spritz some water, great background. Now, when we tend to use them, I must admit a lot of us use these buddy cut palettes, and I know Lavinia do sell these. And one area that people struggle is what consistency, how to make them up. Now, the first thing I will say is I always put the name of the colour on the lid and on the side. For me, that just helps. So if I show you here, my purple one is empty. If ever they dry up, just add more water. You could just mix it in a little pot. If you hadn't got one of these, have I got, oh yeah. You could use a little mixing pot like this, put some Brusho, add some water. Now, just leave it in there. If it did dry up a bit, add some more water, you can reuse it. But I've got to be honest, I like these because they've got lids. And with the Brusho being highly pigmented, if I knock it over and spill it, it does stain. You will find it tend to stain your hands a little bit as well. So if I was mixing up, so I'm going to mix some more purple in here. And this is the bit where I think too many crafters put too much powder in. So for me, I'm just going to tap its bottom. And the idea is I basically just want to, as a rule of guide, almost cover the base of the pot. So I might have to put my head in just a tiny bit more. So I've maybe tapped it about 15 times. But really, it's the amount. So if I can bring this closer, sorry, the camera will take a minute to catch up. There's basically enough powder, just slightly, to cover the base of the pot. Don't need any more than that. And then, just from my water pot, I'm just going to fill it up nearly to the top. So really, it's little powder to quite a lot of water. And then I would use one of these wonderful coffee stirrers and just give it a good stir. And honestly, that is so much that will last you for ages and ages. So that's that sort of consistency. Oh, you didn't tell me I'd spilt my green. How did I do that? I'll teach me, won't it? So let's just mop that up. Right, there we go. Now the next bit, we're going to have the gel press. So I'm just going to use a circular gel press. Now I would always recommend putting them on an acrylic block, acrylic plate. And these ones are from All and Create. Now again, I do believe Lavinia have got some on the website as well. But again, they are from All and Create, Absy's company. And I'm just removing, sorry, Eric's dog hairs do seem to get everywhere at the minute. Right, I just find it's easier to keep my gel press on the acrylic block, much more easier for me. When it comes to ink, I'm going to use one of the new Elements ink. Now we want an ink, again, with a lot of pigment in it and less water. So a dye-based ink. Now you could use the colour box, but Lavinia have brought out these Elements, really, because colour box, you can't get them readily available now. You can use your Distress on here, but they have got more water in, so you will get a little bit of beading. As you can see with the Elements, they're so highly pigmented. And I'm just basically going to bray a little bit of ink across, because really it's the Brusho bit we're interested in. You could mix a couple of colours of ink, but as I say, this is a very impromptu demo just to help Celia out. Now I would clean my brayer on a scrap piece of paper, but again, you don't need to see that. Now, my next little tip, and those of you who watch me know, as soon as I come in my craft room, I have a little pot and I fill it up with water, and every day I have a fine and a fan brush in there. Now I think that helps with the Brushos. I don't know why, it's just a quirk, and when I'm teaching workshops it really helps. So I find I just tap the excess water off my fan brush. Now I would start with my yellow first, and if you twist your fan brush, what I've found is if I haven't used my Brushos for a while, it just almost helps mix it up. Now I'm going to sprinkle the yellow mainly in the middle, because with it being paler, if I'm going to stamp a focal image, that's going to be in the middle. Now the next bit that I find helps is to clean my fan brush in the water, and then my fan brush is wet when it goes into my next. So it's almost, if any water's evaporated, it's almost adding extra water back into my Brusho. I think some crafters almost have the Brushos too dry, too much pigment, not enough water, and they don't mix well. So I'm just going to put some green at the top, back in my water, tap off, and we'll go into that purple that I've just mixed. Again, twist it round, and I'm just going to put some purple around the base, and I'm just using my hand to tap. Now I think I've got plenty on there, and I think I've got enough water. If I didn't think I'd got enough, I could add a tiny few drops of water, but I think I've got plenty on there. Now for me, I like to lift my pot up, not my pot, my plate. Now I just want to be mindful, you know what I'm like, I don't have much room, so I'll move that out of the way so we can see this. And I would always take my plate to my card just so I can have a look. I think I want it there, that's sort of in the middle, isn't it? And press it down. Now hopefully, can you see as I'm pressing, there's enough water that we want these colours to merge a little. If you're just getting clumps, it means it's too dry, the powder's too dry. Now I didn't put much purple on, I wanted this to be quite pale so that I could, you find if you do it too dark, your stamping won't show up so well. And I just like to give that a good press. Almost rub it at the back and peel it off. Now if I put that to one side, so can you see we've got where the lovely interaction here, and I like some areas still left so that it's not just one big blob of colour. but that's the sort of thing we're looking for. Now again, when you're doing this, your card, I forgot to mention, your card needs to be one that will take the water well. So either the multifarious, the stencil card from Clarity, Pink Frog do a good card, a good quality card that takes water. But for me, that's just a lovely result there, and it'll dry very quickly, and that, do some stamping on there, that'll be gorgeous. So the main things to remember is that consistency, that how much water to put in your Brushos. Like I say, if you're getting too many blobs, I'd try a bit more water in the mixture. And I'm hoping that helps, Celia. I'm hoping that you can work through that with me. Like I say, there is a workshop you can do as well with me that hopefully might help as well. So I'm hoping you get a lovely background. And look, if you just alter the colours, but we're getting that sort of consistent, nice background look here. Almost like planets. I think this one looks like a poppy field. This is my favourite with the red. I can't wait to stamp this one up. That's definitely going to be poppies. So thanks for popping in. As I say, just a nice quick one to answer Celia's comments. I'll try and get a proper YouTube done next week for you. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I've got a workshop this weekend. We're creating and we're going to do some mixed media on a tag with the ladies. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I hope you have a lovely weekend. I hope you get some time to rest. And you take care of yourselves, everybody. And Celia, thanks for the question. And I hope it helps. If not, just drop me another email and we'll see what else we need to do. Okay, everybody, take care and bye for now.